Hey folks, Pat here with another pack break for you. So we are well into the Fate Reforged release now. So of course I am doing my duty to open some Fate Reforged packs for you here on YouTube. Of course some big cards that we've seen in Fate Reforged so far. Obviously the Ugin Planeswalker. Ugin's been referenced and talked about and kind of glimpsed for a while. But this is the first set where we actually see him fully depicted on a card. Obviously, it's a Planeswalker card, but there have kind of been mentions of him going back as far as Future Sight. And then, of course, we got some other big cards: Soulfire Grandmaster, Monastery Mentor. Those are all making a big splash. Tassagir, and a cycle of legendary dragons. So not going to talk too much, just going to crack into these and see what we've got, see if we got anything good. And we'll start with this pack right here. We'll put that aside. As you can see, totally and completely sealed, unopened. Slit on the bottom here. So we've got that. And put that aside. And let's see what we've got. Oh, first of all, it doesn't look like we have any foils in the back. So, starting off, we have Refocus. Untap target creature, draw a card. Douse and Gloom. Will of the Naga with the Delve mechanic. Tap up to 2 target creatures, they don't untap. Abzan Sky Captain, flying. This with the bolster mechanic. When it enters the battlefield, or I'm sorry, when this one dies, bolster 2. You choose a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control and put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Enhanced Awareness, draw 3 cards, discard a card. Typhoid Rats, of course, been reprinted a number of times. A good 1/1 1-drop with Death Touch. Gore Swine, 4/1 for 3, pretty vanilla. Frontier Mastodon with the Ferocious mechanic. Alicia's Vanguard. Of course, Alicia is notable because she is the first ever openly transgender character that Magic has, that Wizards of the Coast has acknowledged creating. Reality Shift into the uncommons now. This with the Manifest mechanic. Exile target creature, its controller manifests the top card of his or her library. Sudden Reclamation, and the third uncommon, Honor's Reward. And the rare, it's green, Temur War Shaman. When it enters the battlefield, manifest the top card of your library. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, if it's a creature, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Now the other thing about the Fate Reforged packs is that most of the time in the basic land slot there's one of the common refuge lands, the lands that tap for 2 and they enter the battlefield tapped and you gain 1 life. But much like Dragon's Maze, you could have a fetch land in that spot. So let's see what we got. Oh, well, looks like we got a foil. Let's see. Oh, foil Ugin's Construct. Interesting. A nice looking foil. Alright, and now the land slot. Oh! Woo! There's a fetch. Windswept Heath. Very nice. And the promo. Very, very nice. Alright, well that was a overall good pack, even though we got a disappointing rare. We got the fetch land and the foil Ugin's Construct, so we're going to put that aside for a second. Let's see what we got in this second pack. As you can see, obviously totally sealed. Just got that slit on the bottom. And we'll probably go through this one pretty quickly. Let's see. Okay. Sultai Skullkeeper. Reach of Shadows. Destroy target creature that's one or more colors. A little expensive. Harsh Sustenance. Pressure Point. Tap target creature, draw a card. And of course, we have some great artwork on this piece. The monk tapping the pressure point of the dragon. Whisk Away. Target attacking or blocking creature on the top of owner's library. Another Goreswine. Whisperer of the Wilds. This is an interesting what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting card to help, you know, with your mana. It's kind of like your Llanowar elves in that you can tap it to add 1 green to your mana pool, but it also has Ferocious, where you could add 2 green to your mana pool if you have a creature with power 4 or greater. Probably not going to be eclipsed by Sylvan Caryatid anytime soon, but an interesting card nonetheless. Mardu Runemark. Of course, this is part of a cycle of rune marks. Each clan has one, and with each one you get something. In this case, you have first strike if you control a white or a black permanent, those being the other Mardu colors. Ambush Krotik. 5/5 for 6 with trample. Enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to your hand. Right into being. And into the uncommons. Elite Scale Guard. Break Through the Line. Renowned Weaponsmith. Now this card is interesting because as of right now, it names a card that hasn't been released yet. So it says search your library for a card named Heartpiercer Bow, which was of course released in the Khans set, or Vial of Dragonfire, which we haven't seen yet. So presumably that's going to come in the 3rd set in the Khans block. And our rare. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Storage land. Okay. Alright, so this is definitely a land, not a foil. Let's see if it's one of the refuge lands or a fetch land. Now it's got the Fate Reforged symbol, so it's a refuge land. So Blossoming Sands enters tapped. You can tap it for white or green, and when it enters, you gain a life. And a Manifest Mechanic card. So, altogether, not terrible in light of the fact that we got that Windswept Heath in this first pack. So definitely a good break there. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. Of course, you can check my channel. I have lots of pack breaks for sets, both vintage and current. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.